Late January 31st, 1977. The Lion's Den bar glows through cigarette smoke and neon. Jeanette Ralston stands up, smiles at her friends, and says she'll be right back. 10 minutes. She steps outside, heading toward her Volkswagen Beetle. By morning, she's found dead in the back seat, strangled, and investigators believed she had been sexually assaulted. Near her, an Eve cigarette pack or carton holds a fingerprint that should never have been there. 48 years later, that print will finally speak. This is Shadow Justice Files. Picture the Lion's Den like a faded reel of film. Neon buzzes outside. Inside, voices overlap. Glass clinks. Smoke curls into the ceiling. Jeanette is 24 years old, a young mother stealing a rare, ordinary night. A little laughter, a little music, a small break from responsibility. Her friends don't want the night to end. She keeps it light, like it's nothing. Just grabbing something from the car, she says. Back in 10. The door opens. Winter air rushes in. Jeanette disappears into the dark. Time passes the way it always does in these stories. At first, nobody panics. Then minutes stretch. Then, the air changes. By dawn, someone notices the Beetle sitting wrong, parked near the bar by an apartment complex carport. A glance becomes dread, and dread becomes certainty. Jeanette is found in the back seat. Investigators later said she had been strangled, and that a shirt used in the strangulation was recovered. They also believed she had been sexually assaulted. There are signs someone tried to burn the car, as if fire could erase what happened. It didn't. The scene fills with procedure: tape, flashlights, cameras, evidence markers placed with careful hands. Among the items collected is an Eve cigarette pack or carton, small, ordinary, but it carries something extraordinary. A fingerprint preserved for the future. And somewhere else, a child wakes up to an absence he can't name yet. No voice in the kitchen, no footsteps in the hall, just silence where his mother should be. The early investigation runs hot, then cools. Detectives interview, re-interview, follow tips that collapse into nothing. Witness memories blur. People move away. Time does what time does. That fingerprint exists, but it has nowhere to go. The case slows, then stops. A file placed back into the dark. Not solved, just waiting. Jeanette's son grows up carrying the question. It doesn't get lighter, he just gets stronger. But the evidence, though, stays, locked away, cataloged, protected. A shirt, fingernail scrapings, a cigarette pack or carton with a print that doesn't know it's a key. Years pass, then decades. Technology changes quietly in the background. Databases expand, methods sharpen, and eventually, the world becomes capable of hearing what the evidence has been holding on to all along. It's now 2024. The embers flare anew in Santa Clara's cold case sanctum. Investigators and prosecutors pull Jeanette's file back into the light. Not because it's easy, because it's unfinished. They make one decision that sounds simple: run the fingerprint again. This time, the system answers. The fingerprint from the Eve cigarette pack or carton hits, linked to Willie Eugene Sims, 69, living in Ohio. Back in 1977, Sims was a 21-year-old Army private stationed at Fort Ord in California. Now the case tightens like a knot. Paperwork moves fast. Calls cross state lines. A team travels to Ohio to collect a DNA sample from Sims. No movie theatrics, just the quiet weight of a warrant, a sterile swab, and a plane ride carrying a 48-year-old question toward an answer. Then, the wait, the kind that lives in lab hallways and phone screens. In the lab, the past is ready. DNA linked to evidence collected in 1977 is compared with Sims' sample. Investigators said the results were consistent with Sims, including DNA from under Jeanette's fingernails and from the shirt associated with the strangulation. A line is drawn from one winter night to a name in the present. Investigators also said they were fortunate key witnesses were still alive, people who could help place the shadow back into the room where it first appeared. And then the final click. Sims is arrested in Ohio and charged with murder in California. The fingerprint's whisker becomes a howl. Somewhere in the middle of an ordinary day, Jeanette's son gets the call. After decades, there is a name, a person in custody, a case awake again. A cold case isn't cold to the family. It's a daily sentence served in quiet. Officials said Jeanette's son was 6 years old when she was killed, and he expressed gratitude after the arrest. A childhood stopped mid-sentence finally gets a period. Now it turns toward courtrooms and calendars, toward motions, hearings, and the slow machinery of consequence. Because time doesn't erase the truth. Sometimes it only delays it. Shadow Justice Files returns to the cases time tried to bury. Subscribe for the next shadow pulled into the light. Like if this story stayed with you. And if there's a case you want covered, leave it in the comments. Justice doesn't always arrive quickly, but sometimes it arrives anyway.